Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda and welcome to this important episode of Ignition Time. I'll let you know exactly what you need to know heading into election day because boy oh boy, this is going to be a historic day. Welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for being a viewer and subscriber. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time, and if you learned something new from this video, please consider clicking the like button, please ignite the subscribe button, and please ignite the notification button because the name of our channel is Ignition Time. On your screen, you'll see an article from Bloomberg which reads, Trump has no economic plan, and this was from a Republican economist, Glenn Hubbard, and Hubbard worked for George W. Bush and advised Mitt Romney and Jeb Bush. This is just unbelievable. So what Hubbard said is he could imagine opportunities for a second Trump term, such as how to fix problems with the healthcare system that have been laid bare, in his words, by the pandemic, maybe talk about fiscal reform or trade in a way that engaged our allies. That's what he said. But he says, anybody who says they know what Trump would do in a second term, I don't know where they're getting that from. Just unbelievable. And former Vice President Joe Biden, who is the contender for president and who is leading nationally in the polls right now, doesn't have much to say of a plan either, according to Hubbard. He said his too is a little odd. I'd have thought if I was running for president, I would have focused on recovery and then a variety of renewal recovery issues. There's not really much other than nods to the Democratic plan, which is kind of a Christmas tree. That's what Hubbard said. Just unbelievable. I want to be clear, he did say about President Trump as well. He said he has no economic plan. I don't mean that I don't like it. It doesn't exist. That's what Hubbard said. Now, keep in mind, Hubbard is a Republican economist, Glenn Hubbard, and again, he has worked for George W. Bush and advised Mitt Romney and Jeb Bush. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So, getting into the election, there is some controversy getting into the election because the president has actually criticized the Supreme Court of the United States. I'll show you his tweet about that in just a second. But basically where things stand right now is, according to Politico, and I quote Politico, Trump had a miraculous recovery from the pandemic. Will his political bounce back be as stunning as Politico has said? Now, also keep in mind that according to a November 2nd report, according to a report yesterday from Deborah Birx, who's a coordinator of the White House Pandemic Task Force, we are entering the most concerning and most deadly phase of this pandemic, leading to increased mortality. Wow. She wrote, this is not about lockdowns. It hasn't been about lockdowns since March or April. It's about an aggressive, balanced approach that is not being implemented. I personally believe that our view of the economy and of the pandemic is going to shape our vote. And I do believe that the election is going to be a referendum on the state of the economy and the state of the pandemic. All the other issues that were huge issues in 2016, including immigration and several other issues, they are all on the back burner right now, because what is at the front and center of our minds is the economy, and it is the handling of the pandemic by the administration. Now, keep in mind, I did see a survey that said that a majority of President Trump's voters were voting for President Trump because they were concerned about the socialist policies of the Democrats. Yep, the socialist policies of the Democrats. On the other hand, a significant portion of the individuals who are voting for former Vice President Joe Biden, or I should say who are voting for former Vice President Joe Biden as we speak, have said that they were voting against President Trump. So this is a fascinating time in the history of our country where one candidate is being supported because of views of the other party, if you will, and another candidate is being supported because of the views of because of the notion, the visceral reaction to the other candidate. Just fascinating where we are right now. Speaking of fascinating, President Trump actually lashed out at the Supreme Court. In fact, President Trump's tweet, and you'll see the message from Twitter on your screen, President Trump's tweet had a warning label on Twitter that said, some or all of this content shared on this tweet is disputed and might be misleading about an election or other civic process. Unbelievable. So if you do go ahead and read that tweet, the president wrote, the Supreme Court decision on voting in Pennsylvania is a very dangerous one. It will allow rampant and unchecked cheating, and it will undermine our entire systems of laws. It will also induce violence in the streets. Something must be done. Now, I want my viewers and subscribers to know this. What is happening in Pennsylvania, the counting of ballots after election day, is something that happens in many other states. It just happens, and it has been happening. This is normal process. Now, it's interesting that the president is zeroing in on Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania is indeed what it may all come down to. And former Vice President Joe Biden has been campaigning extensively in Pennsylvania over the past 2 or 3 days. So the focus on Pennsylvania by the president is interesting, but keep in mind that again, the voting on Pennsylvania, what's going on in Pennsylvania is something that has gone on for a long time, and the focus on Pennsylvania indicates that indeed it'll all come down to that, because the president did essentially criticize the Supreme Court for its decision to allow an extended count of Pennsylvania mail-in ballots postmarked by election day. So this is just unbelievable where things stand right now. Keep in mind that a Republican request was rejected, and the Republican request was a stay that would allow ballots to be, was a stay on a Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision that would allow ballots to be counted up to 3 days after election day. The US Supreme Court ruled 4-4 not to issue the stay, allowing the state to go through with counting those votes. So this is where things are right now. Just an incredible time in the history of our country. And the president said, I quote, "I guess it was a political decision." The president has repeatedly insisted that the election results should be determined by tonight, and has cast doubts on the legitimacy of mail-in voting because a lot of individuals have opted to vote absentee because of the pandemic. And again, Twitter did mark the actual tweet from the president as misleading. So Kathy Boockvar, who's the Secretary of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, insisted in the past 24 hours that Pennsylvania's voting infrastructure was secure against fraud, and she criticized the president's tweet. She said, I quote, "I have no idea what he's talking about, but to say anything about inciting violence is completely inappropriate." She said, "We want to make sure every qualified voter has a right and opportunity to vote, and I honestly can't imagine what he's talking about." So the insinuation that what the Supreme Court does would lead to violence in the wake of an election is just unbelievable, coming from a sitting president. And that is where things stand right now. Let me know what you think about this information in the comment section below. You'll find a link to all our resources in the description section below. And keep in mind that there are cities across the country, including Washington and Philadelphia, that are gearing up for any potential disturbances after the election. And let's just hope that we don't have anything like that happening. Again, please comment below, let me know what you think. And if you learned something new from this video, please share this video with friends and family members. That would help out the YouTube algorithm. That would be your vote of confidence in us and all the effort that goes into this channel behind the scenes. Please remember to click like. Please remember to subscribe and enable notifications if indeed you learned something new from this video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I really appreciate you watching. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. Keep in mind, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. You can get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and then you'll get added to our SMS alerts list moving forward. Now, you can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and then you'll get added to our email list going forward. You can opt out of our SMS list or our email list at any point in time. No worries about that. Now, keep in mind, sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time. So simply bookmark youtube.com/ignitiontime. That's youtube.com/ignitiontime, and then you can visit our channel any time that you want. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. So make sure you follow us there. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. So follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter community is growing. Speaking of community, I encourage you to comment below and participate in our growing community, because we have a fun, engaging, respectful, diverse, vibrant community. So definitely become a part of our community. If you learned something from this video, please ignite the like button, please ignite that subscribe button, and please enable notifications, because remember, the name of our channel is Ignition Time. That would be your vote of confidence in us, and that does help out the YouTube algorithm. As always, you'll find the links to all our resources in the description section below, so check them out if you want to dig deeper into the content. And also, please share this video with friends and family. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.